I'm back, Fabulites. Thanks for liking, commenting, subscribing, sharing. This is part 2 of Underground Season 1, Episode 9, Black and Blue. So, Kato and Noah were trying to untangle Kato when we left, and it was not a good situation. We know that Noah ended up throwing Kato a knife. I think that Kato might have had 2 guns, but he had gotten jabbed in the thigh meat with an arrow real deep in that thigh meat, and it was not looking good for him. So Noah just kind of went on. He didn't want to, kind of, sort of, not exactly, not really, but he didn't really have a choice unless he was going to sacrifice himself, which he wasn't going to do. And so he starts running, Noah, and he runs into Miss Rosalie. She says, "Where's Kato?" And Noah kind of gives her that look like, and then we hear 2 shots, and then we just have to assume that Kato is dead. But you know what they say about assuming. So the next thing we see is Elizabeth and John arguing. Elizabeth says, "I did this for us," in terms of, she slept with the Constable Kyle. And her husband is like, "You slept with him when you were engaged to him before you were married. You slept with me before you were married." And she's like, "Well, what are you saying? I mean, you're the one that brought us into this whole underground life. I was here by myself with this girl, and what was I supposed to do? I took care of business. So I was alone, I was scared, and you started this mess." Then we have a flashback of John Hawkes about to play darts with Basil Abbott. But before the start of the game, they're playing darts as a wager to get at Ella, who's the young girl that John Hawkes had purchased, trying to get close to Basil Abbott. And so they're supposed to be wagering to see if Basil Abbott could actually get this young virginal black girl. I guess and before they can start the dart game, Basil Abbott stabs John Hawkes and says, "I know who you are. You're not Hawkins. You're that abolitionist brother of Tom Macon. We all know who you are. You're not fooling me." And so they start fighting. Then we flash back to Elizabeth Hawkes and John Hawkes at their house, and they're arguing. He says, "You did it for us, or you did it for that little girl, and I want to slap you for letting him, get with you, and I want to kill him." He mad. John Hawkes is mad. Then we flash back to John and Basil fighting back on the plantation. Then we flash back and we see Boo has a gun as she listens to and watches John and Elizabeth argue. And really, John is kind of being aggressive. He's upset, understandably so. And then we hear John Hawkes say, "You know what I did down south? I almost beat a man to death." And he's, about to beat the man, kill him. I think he's about to shoot him. That's what I remember. And then Clyde, who's our carpenter with all the bells on him, who had helped building the Hawks runaway hideaway, who had been recaptured, and the one who said, I am free. He says, "No, don't kill him, Basil Abbott, because then they'll think that a slave escaped and killed his master," meaning that's going to make it more trouble for Clyde. And then we flash back. So then as John continues yelling at Elizabeth, Boo shoots the gun, and it looked like she barely missed his head. And then Boo says, "The bad man was gonna get you," and she's hugged all up with Elizabeth, and Elizabeth is holding her, and John is kind of looking like, "Well, gosh darn." And then there's a knock at the door, and Rosalie and Noah, "A friend of a friend sent us," says Rosalie. And then the little baby Boo says, "Rosalie!" And I think that's the end of the episode. So thanks again for watching. Be you, be fabulous, be fab. fabulous. Yoo-hoo!